Good morning, Year 12. I just want to give you a little update on things that have obviously been happening over the last few days. Okay, first is the AS choice forms. Look, they're being collated at the moment. Timetablers then kind of refine them, and then they'll alert me to dispose the entries and so on. So if you've submitted, it should be good. Only issues would be if maybe you haven't got one there, or there's an issue with the kind of number of subjects, then I might be back in contact with you. But other than that, hopefully that should carry on fine. Okay, the next thing is the surveys that were done this week. Okay, just while I remember R&E, remember you guys were doing a kind of final survey for the Oxford crew, so I believe, yes, a good number have done that. There's maybe some that still haven't, and so they would be very keen to get everybody's input. So could you check out an email that Mrs. Craig sent through with a link and try and get that done and tidied up. Okay, the other survey was our general one, okay, that was asking about your experiences and your concerns. Last count I looked this morning, it was over 120 had replied to that, which was great. And from that regard, it gives us plenty of information to run with and to work with, and I'm reading those and I'll forward them on to tutors as well. I know that motivation to get going each day is a big issue, okay, that seems quite universal, and that's understandable. Okay, without an end goal, without a kind of reason to be up and doing things, it is hard, okay, particularly when you're in the teenage years. Okay, and so hopefully that will alleviate a little bit, because of course we do now have a kind of incentive and an end point and a purpose to get a bit of work done over these next few weeks. And that leads into obviously some of the concerns about returning to school. Mr. Barr will be sending out something more general next week in regard to the kind of protocol and the expectations when you're back on the 22nd. You of course have a week of class, okay, so it should be pretty familiar, but you'll have all those usual sort of COVID restrictions that you had last time, plus even one or two, maybe more, where masks, I believe, need to be worn pretty much universally indoors, okay, corridors and classes, so that's something to prepare for. And again, it comes down to a lot of personal responsibility here. People need to take it on themselves and make sure that they're adhering to that, okay. The other big concern, of course, is the assessments that have been touted as happening the week you come back after Easter. Okay, we've tried to push them as late as we can. I know that is a concern for some. I'm reading some responses that seem to make out that they're next week, but you haven't. You were, 6 weeks was the maximum we could afford. Pushing them after the Easter holidays, I felt was important. So as you did have some class time, some time to readjust back in the school building. I know anybody who'd been self-isolating earlier this year found that it took a week to kind of get themselves back into the right space and kind of mindset in order to kind of do their best and learn. And so even more so now with this gap of 3 months since Christmas, okay? But that week gives you in front of teachers, back with your peer group a little, and hopefully an opportunity to ask questions, to get clarification, and to build a little bit of confidence, okay, ahead of an Easter break that obviously will come. It gives you opportunity to fine-tune things a little, and then on the 12th of April there is of course this assessment schedule. Now you're going to get a copy of that later today. I'll post that up on Google Classroom and you'll be able to see. I had a quick preview, and it's going to run from the 12th, the Monday, to the Tuesday following, which is the 20th, so it's 7 days to allow a little bit of flexibility with the schedule, so as hopefully nobody is hit too much in any one day. And you'll see that there's a series of assessments, okay, for each subject there, and that is a high controlled environment. We don't have anything for you guys, unfortunately, bar the winter of year 11, okay, where you did a series of exams in that time, and those assessments are such a long time ago, and you on the whole have progressed so much since then that there would be a reluctance to use those. And some quarters actually would bring a grade down because you have improved since then, and so therefore we need something that is more up to date. It's more reflective as where you are now at the end of a 2-year course, okay? And so it's in lieu of the mocks. If the mocks had happened, I would have suspected that data would have been the main one used to put in as a high control one, okay? But they didn't, and so we now have to put some schedule in place for that. And so you have now 5 weeks, okay, starting from Monday, you're on this study leave, and what that really means is that there shouldn't be any demands from your subjects on anything really other than study, Okay, now you will find some subjects will post things up for you to use for your benefit. Okay, and so I recommend that, you know, learning notes and doing past paper questions. Those are the two most important things here. And get it to a place where you know it, and then you can put it down on a piece of paper to answer a specific question. So do lots of it. Exhaust, please, the SIA and AQAA websites. Okay, go through past papers until you're sick of them. Get the mark schemes, learn them, and you will find that you will build your confidence and efficiency in being able to answer questions here. Okay, these assessments, I say, aren't the be and end all. Okay, this is not what your grade is based on solely. It will contribute to it. It certainly will be a part of it. Okay, any tests, any maths, any previous assessments you'd done in school last term between September and Christmas will certainly be added into the mix. And I say, we're waiting to hear exactly what is required in order to know, do we need to go further back into year 11. Okay, we don't have really any opportunity other than these assessments after Easter in order to get any more marks from you. Okay, so therefore it is kind of being pushed as this is the last big thing. Okay, so as we can get all your numbers in, and then we can come up obviously with a accurate grading for you. Okay, and post that there's discussions happening. Okay, what's going to happen to year 12, because you don't have an external exam series, and so we will give you more information on that when we know more. But for now, it's getting ready for the week after Easter, so as you can come in prepared and can do your best, and that's simply what we ask. Okay, so look out for this schedule. You'll be able to then plan things off the back of that, and we'll take it from there. Okay, anyway, we'll be in touch again weekly on this, and do let me know if there's any issues you need me to help with. Okay, bye bye.